Ahead on American Sunrise, the Attorney General for Washington, D.C. is suing the Trump administration over the deployment of National Guard troops as part of the crime crackdown there. The big question this morning, what's his beef? We'll find out. Plus, House Speaker Mike Johnson predicts the discharge petition on the Epstein files will fail. Ahead, the mood inside the GOP conference, as all of this plays out. And there is reportedly some infighting among Republican lawmakers when it comes to how to avoid a government shutdown. Find out what proposals are on the table. Those stories and so much more right now on American Sunrise.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to American Sunrise. I'm Emily Finn, filling in today for Dr. Gina, live from West Palm Beach. Let's bring in David Brody in Washington, D.C., and Terrence Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, you guys. There were some fireworks in Washington, D.C. yesterday, David, at the RFK Jr. hearing. That got pretty heated.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, normally I go to get my popcorn at the movies, but I might as well have just gotten it right there watching on television. It was amazing stuff. T. Bates, I know we have some sound we want to play as well. Then we can get into it for sure.
Let's just get right to it. We can't talk about it enough. Ooh, got a fly in here. Let's get right to this sound, guys. Play it.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
I know I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products for which there is no indication.
When you said,
and I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away.
So look, Emily and David, over the next couple of hours, we're going to be playing a number of excerpts from this hearing. It got fiery, it got contentious, it got petty. I think all of those are probably good adjectives, David.
Yeah, well, let me just say, sorry, Democrats, you lost me about you and being reputable on the science. Specifically, you lost me when you think there's 174 genders today and 184 genders the next day. So you lost me there. You lost me 25 years ago when Al Gore said that we have 10 years to save the planet. That was 25 years ago. You lost me when you want 13-year-olds mutilated with gender transition surgery. You lost me in COVID. Dare I go on, Emily? This is a 2-hour show, but we have 4 hours of examples, so I guess I'll stop right now.
We do have a lot of examples throughout the rest of the show. I just have to say that this is not the first time that RFK Jr. has been subjected to this kind of grilling at the Capitol, and he handles it really, really well every time. Stays very strong in his position and his research on things. And man, did it get heated. Make sure you guys are staying tuned because we do have a lot more to show you from that hearing. But first, let's check out today's Bible verse. It comes from John 15, verses 13 through 15, and reads, "Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all things that I heard from my Father I have made known to you." A great way to go into the weekend. All right, our top headline today, the Attorney General for Washington, D.C. is suing the Trump administration over the deployment of the National Guard. The lawsuit claims President Trump has run roughshod over a fundamental tenet on American democracy, that the military should not be involved in domestic law enforcement. Trump has touted the deployment a success and has said he's considering doing it in other cities as well. For more, let's bring in pastor and North Carolina Congressman Mark Harris. Congressman, what do you make of all of this?
Well, good morning. Thank you so much for having me today. I just stand amazed when I continue to hear the Democrats on the other side try to just throw shade and bring criticism against the president for stepping up and bringing law and order to our nation's capital. In my mind, it has been a rousing success. I think in the mayor of Washington, D.C.'s mind, she's made it clear objectively just how much of a difference that it's made. Carjackings are down. They went the first 12 days without a murder. I mean, really, we're seeing things, 150 plus illegal guns seized. You would think this would be something that the Democrats would be jumping up and down celebrating. But instead, they're criticizing, they're attacking. I think so much of it is because it's President Trump. It's still part of that Donald J. Trump's, that Trump derangement syndrome, if you will, TDS. So I think that, again, we have an opportunity here to make a model out of Washington, D.C., and so far it's been very successful.
Congressman, you and your colleagues just returned to work in Washington this week. You've got a lot on your plate, specifically as it comes to those appropriation bills. There's this headline from The Hill, which reads, Republicans are divided on a stopgap strategy to prevent a looming shutdown. Reportedly, some of you and some of your colleagues want a one-year CR. Some want a short-term CR. I personally just want you guys to go ahead and pass all the appropriation bills. Where do you stand on this? What would you like to see happen? What do you think is going to happen? And how do we ultimately get to a point where these appropriations bills are passed, all 12 of them, as is the constitutional duty of Congress?
Well, that's a great question, Terrence, and you framed it quite well. As a constitutionalist and an idealist, I would love to see us follow regular order and get all 12 appropriation bills passed. That's what needs to happen. I'm also a realist, and I realize that we're coming up on September 30th, and we've got to make some decisions. And quite frankly, if we find ourselves dealing with a CR, I'm more in favor of a long-term CR. Simply because it holds spending level. You're not going to see these automatic increases that oftentimes come when we start passing many of these appropriation bills. That is one way to control spending. When you start getting into those short-term CRs, I know the mindset behind it, or the sell for it, is to try to say, well, if we extend it, then it gives us more time to pass a few more appropriation bills. But the reality is, right now, I think we're looking at, we just passed one yesterday, and I think that was the third of the 12. So much of the first 6 months of this Congress was spent working on the Working Families Tax Cut, formerly known as the Big Beautiful Bill. And I think that a lot of things got accomplished with that. But I think that where we are now, we're looking at some kind of CR. And I personally feel like we need a clean CR. And I would support a year-long CR if it comes down to that.
Congressman, just a quick follow-up. There are many in our viewing audience who say shut the entire thing down, shut the government down until you pass all of the appropriation bills. I suspect you're not willing to do that, but would that not be a way to push some of your colleagues to get these appropriations bills passed just for political expediency alone?
Well, the only people that are really talking about a shutdown at this point are the Democrats, because they want to slow down. They want to create some kind of barrier to the successes that President Trump is having. This administration is moving an agenda forward. The America First agenda is real, and it is happening. And the things that we're needing to do, we don't need a government shutdown. We want to keep things going. And I agree with you. It's important. I want to see us move appropriation bills forward. But again, when you start getting into these negotiations, Democrats are wanting to do anything. I mean, that's what you're seeing even with these lawsuits that they're filing. If you can't stop President Trump at the ballot box, then you've got to try to do it in the courts. And that's what the Democrats have operated on for a long time. And they're still continuing to try to do that. So I think we've got to be wary of anything they're trying to do to stop the agenda of America First. And that's sort of where we are right now.
Congressman, I've got to get you on what happened with RFK Jr. yesterday in that Senate hearing. Curious to get your take on that. I mean, it makes me think of that line in A Few Good Men, with Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. And it also looked like RFK Jr. was like looking at them as like insects. He kind of was sitting back in his chair going flick, 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 flick. I'm curious to get your take.
He really was, David, and that's a great point that you make. I felt he handled himself quite well in that. I watched that circus that the Democrats created yesterday, and I thought, is it any wonder why anybody with ability and intellect and is willing to step in and serve this nation when they're put under that kind of grilling that he went through yesterday? But to his credit, he responded. Look, the reality is for them to try to say, and they're really all just upset with him for the changes that have come at the CDC. That's at the root of all of this, and they hate those. But for them to say that he's creating chaos in our healthcare after what the CDC and the science failed us so many times through COVID, I find that very rich. And the truth of the matter is I've got plenty of people in my district that are still dealing with the side effects of the vaccine. And the fact that he is making it available to people, but they're going to have a prescription. They're going to have an honest conversation with their doctor. Listen, I remember in my own situation where my doctor recommended when it first started, yes, you probably ought to get it. It's important. By the end of all of that, he had rethought that. The more the science came out, the more he was concerned about it. So listen, I think there needs to be honest conversation between patients and their physicians, not just throwing this vaccine out there for everybody just to run and get it. I appreciate the thoughtfulness that's going into this process right now.
Yeah, and honest conversations throughout the whole country. I mean, America's collective health has been declining for years, so it's great that RFK Jr. is looking at this in a different way. Congressman, I do want to get your reaction to this headline as well. We only have about 45 seconds left with you. This is from the New York Post. It says Nigel Farage warns that Americans could also face censorship and even arrest in the UK for social media posts after comedians bust. He says that he was at a House Judiciary Committee hearing and called the new laws awful and authoritarian. Definitely seems to be. What is your reaction to this, Congressman?
Listen, that was an impressive hearing that we were a part of the other day. I was honored to be there with it and on the Judiciary Committee. We've got a real situation that's developed in Europe. And if we don't step in now and protect Americans, we're going to find ourselves as the next casualty. There have been 12,183 arrests in 2023 in Great Britain, just using this act that they put in place that's going after people online, which is pure censorship. And I mean, people are being arrested if they posted something that somehow annoyed somebody or somehow brought anxiety to somebody. And it's just gotten out of hand. They're going after people for praying. They're going after people for posting Bible verses. Listen, Europe's got a situation on their hands, and we're trying to highlight it here in the United States so that we don't walk down the same path they've gone down. And I appreciated Nigel Farage and his honesty and truthfulness with all of us on the committee as he made this clear.
Certainly has gotten out of hand. Congressman Harris, thank you so much for joining American Sunrise. Really appreciate you waking up early with us, sir.
Honored to be with you as always. God bless you. Have a great weekend.
God bless you, too.
You too as well.
All right. Now, coming up, we check out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom with T. Bates. And later, Ukrainian President Zelensky met with European leaders on security guarantees. But how much was accomplished? We're going to take a look soon on American Sunrise. Stay with us.